There we go. And of course now the game is making audio. So I got coffee and stuff, and I've figured since the last time I played this was on my birthday, I would play it again today. While my dog is literally in the backyard whining to be let in because she's a baby brat. I love her to death, but goodness. She's been... she pulled up couch cushions because she wanted to lay on a pile of blankets and then wanted my attention and pets and play and stuff, and I have a migraine, so this is a mixture of a migraine stream, which I do sometimes when I feel like crap, and then a mixture of the fact that I just feel like crap and I want to stream something because I'm tired of literally watching YouTube or playing Flight Rising, of which I do all of those, so, and of course, I don't anticipate anyone joining me on this because people usually don't. I have like barely any followers, and I never really have people watching me. Also, I never know what to title these streams or what to put in description-wise. Which reminds me, I actually needed to check on something now that I think about it. Where are my settings? OBS, where is it? Because there's a thing that I keep forgetting I need to double check on. Let's see. It's not notifications. That's fine. Let's see. I know I can't change those when I'm live. Shut up. Oh, I don't remember where it is. Is it on my dashboard? I actually just realized I had forgotten some shit. So I'm gonna quickly do... Haha, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Basically, I do have a tips thing. But I'm not 100% sure how I'm supposed to link to that. So... let's see, save and publish. Okay. Ha ha ha. When I hit that button, then what does it do? Sweet, it actually pulls it up. Okay, that works. And my Streamlabs is of course linked to that. So, I'll have to check to see if it's, I edit. Okay, thanks. Thank you, Twitch. That's not what I wanted. Minute stream. There we go. Edit stream info. Okay. I can't even tell if, like, my stream is showing anything to Twitch. I think it is. Here, let me fix this. Pillars of Eternity. Done. There's that. Oh. There should be more. Where is it? Add stream marker. Clip that. Start watch party. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. Okay. Title, tags, and more. That's not letting me do anything. Okay. Maybe I can do it through the Twitch app. Entirely possible. Who knows? I'm gonna hit this button. I'm gonna hit my own name. I'm gonna go to channel. Thank you. Cool. Save 30% up for subbing stuff. Okay, edit. There we go. Figure why not? There. And then it's this. There. Ha ha ha. And that's just because I have, like, literally no life and stuff. And then I need to hit that button and hit that button. Ha ha ha. Sweet. Okay. Reason why sorry, I'm yelling and talking about stuff, is because, oh, let me turn that off there and minimize that. I just keep getting distracted by shit. Okay. So, yeah, I was just wanting to fix this because it generally shows me stuff, but, I'm like, blah. So there's that. And obviously I'm on a multi-stream thing, so let me just minimize that. There we go. And we're back to here. Awesome. Haha. Is it not obvious what my life has been like? Okay. Alright. Let's see. Points to advance 1. Oh, and I have 6 points left. Oh, did I not do this last time? Okay. I thought I did this already. Let's see, I updated my lore, if I remember, because it represents accumulated miscellaneous knowledge and trivia. Let's see. Athletics. Stealth. I am, what, a monk? Right, I'm a monk. So, at the second win, mechanics is, oh, right, okay. I'm gonna update survival, and then mechanics, and let's do stealth this one, and yeah, okay. Alright, so I get a new skill. I have, let's see, Swift Strikes. Monk's hands become a frenzied blur of attacks, increasing their attack rate for a brief period. Ooh. Monk is able to channel physical pain into pure energy and redirect it at his or her attacks, while the monk has wounds. Oh. Intense practice years studying allowed a monk to move confidently and fluidly. During combat, the monk's movement rate is significantly increased. I'm gonna go with that. Okay. Done. Now you're ready to level up. Pretty boy. Wow, your lore is really high. Your everything else is terrible. Let's up your stealth. There we go. 'Cause he's gonna need it. Oh, right. And I get to choose your spells. I forget. Wizards have access to a variety of offensive and personal defense spells, unlike priests and druids. Wizards learn individual spells that they store in and cast directly from the grimoire. Grimoires can only hold 4 spells of each spell level, which motivates wizards to keep multiple grimoires for different needs. Every 2 levels, wizards gain access to an additional set of spells. However, they can automatically learn 1 spell of any level they can access each time they advance. Wizards also have the option of learning spells from grimoires they find or buy. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest. As a wizard gains power, their weaker spells eventually shift to pre-encounter use. Ooh. So, Bewildering Spectacle creates a bizarre and perplexing visual distraction. Does confusion, it's an AoE. Binding Web is useful because it does a AoE of movement issues. So people get stuck. Bulwark against the elements creates a mystical shield around the caster, suffusing them with bonuses to burn, freeze, corrode, and shock damage. Combusting Wounds causes enemy wounds in the area of effect to ignite, inflicting additional burn damage. Ooh, that's nice. Consulhalt's Corrosive Siphon eats away at the target's spirit, inflicting corrosive damage and converting that into endurance for the cast. Oh, that's useful. I think this blinds you? Yeah. Fetid Caress does a paralyzation. Sickening those nearby. Infused with Vital Essence. Temporary increase to maximum endurance and health. Okay. Let's see, what else have we got? Necromantic Lance, Ray of Fire, Rolling Flame. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually probably going to hit you with that one, because that's useful. Oh. No. Wait. Oh, it automatically selected the two that I chose. Oh, I get two. Well, that's important. That one. And... Scorching Ray of Flame. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna do that one. There. I didn't realize I had already clicked, because I clicked the two, it had already decided, oh, you must have meant all of them. It's like, no game, I did not mean all of them.
Oh?
That's what I was trying to do. Okay, next tab. Right, and I can stealth, which is interesting. Because stealth gives me, if I stealth, I can find, secrets.
Certainly.
No, come here. No. I keep forgetting what my buttons do. There we go. You would think I would remember what my buttons do. I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm gonna quickly just kind of like tour around this place because there's always lootables. And every time I move my mouse a certain way, it takes it off the screen because... Oh, no, wait, that's stealing. I don't want to do that. Nope, nope, nope. I'm not gonna make these people mad at me. Like, there's one thing for stealing stuff, and then there's another thing for stealing from people who are nice to you. Plus, if you get caught, you get...
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Oh.
Yes?
Put your butt over here. Now, there should be a way for me to... move my map without... that's why. I had the wrong keys up. This explains everything.
Hmm?
There we go. That's locked. What do I do with that, though? That's a book. Nice. I wish I could use my WASD keys, like I can use my arrow keys.
I can get it to spill its secrets.
Let's try that.
It's done.
There we go. Sweet. So I have to alternate
Yes.
the keyboard and mouse. Crayon behind the books is a drawing that shows Aothas, Lord... Wait. Aothas, Lord of what? Sorry, I saw that. Aothas, Lord Raodric in a compromising... That's funny. In a compromising position. Gotta love those compromising position photos. Make it my familiar friend. Sound stares intently at the covered window, head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging silently. My dog is making those same sounds outside, so, pet dog. Hound's tail thumps happily against the floorboards. Ends dialogue. Do I now have a pet? Oh, no I don't. Tiny bite marks. Okay. I know there's a way to get the pet as my pet, but I don't remember how to do it. I say as I casually, play this game. Come on. There we go. So I'm in Gilded Vale. Okay, so this is upstairs. I'm gonna go back inside. I'm trying to remember what things there are. But I'm bad at remembering what things there are. Okay. Cool. Alright. Roaches scatter and flee under crates. Okay, we're gonna go downstairs. Da-da-da-da-da. Let's go over here. I know I can't take anything from there because that's gonna steal and then put this there. I don't want that right now. Spoons hanging by a light fire.
I shall be discreet.
Now
I wanna
here's
say-
something.
There it is. I want to say there's something here that I can actually see if I stealth properly. Okay, now what am I doing? Character, journal, J. Okay, visions and whispers. After surviving explosion out of the ruins of Silantli, or Silant, I know I'm mispronouncing that, especially since they probably just told me. I've been hearing sounds with no source and seeing things that aren't there. Find the dwarf woman from the dream. Okay, so that's what I was doing. I was like, I'm trying to remember what I was doing last time I played this. It's been a fair bit of time, and my memory is not always the best. Okay, some kind of brown slop congealing these dishes. Smells burnt. What's that? The floorboard's sticky with spills. No one's bothered to clean. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna continue for the moment the normal stuff, and then we'll get to optional bits and bobs. Because there are optional bits and bobs. But right now, I need to go speak with Miss Dwarfy Woman. Who's back this way, if I remember correctly. And that's just so I can get my other Matthew Mercer character. Because apparently Mercer voices like everyone in this game. Go figure. Scattered between the roots are bracelets of twine and bead, wilting flowers, and notes half erased by the rains. Oh, okay. There we go. Caldera de Baranzi. The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bough that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head rolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. And we're going to reach out. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out toward the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing, electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness, in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog, her body still swaying in a wind you no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
I love this woman. She's creepy as all hell, but I love her. Her eyes squint as she peers down at you. So, am I imagining this?
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy then. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I. Wherever here may be.
She considers for a moment, looking down at her own limp body. Wow. Her tongue clicks and she shakes her head. Okay, how are you able to speak to me then?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
Thank you for creeping me out even more, Caldera. So she moves her tongue around in her mouth as if testing it, and then she gives you a motherly smile. Oh. So I think I need to understand what is happening to me. Something's happened, so I need to understand it. She nods, a look of pity on her face, as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there.
She nods.
You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten.
She nods again.
You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
A watcher. What is a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, no, not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times.
Oh, okay.
Souls pass on. Some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same.
That's
For
creepy.
all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on. And those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either living or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how.
Just so you know, the pulsating that this is doing is actually making my head hurt a little worse. So that's a fun thing to learn. So I'm like trying really hard not to actually look at my screen.
A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them. Know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their honor can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder.
Okay, so what do you mean when all goes well? Because I don't like the sound of that.
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprouts from one of her cheeks. Is she suddenly a mouse? I don't understand.
You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kanua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
Okay. So then why did I survive a Biowak?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing.
That does not make me feel
Or maybe
comforted.
it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me now.
Okay, so either I have a very full soul, or the storm was careless. I don't really like either of those options, I think.
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
I'm asking about her, I believe. Did I hit the wrong button? I might have hit the wrong button. I want to know something about you. So who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
Okay. So a small beetle is skittering from the inside of her cheek with a mild sigh. And she makes a potential curtsy. She laughs, rasping, choked cackle escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing her blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer.
Okay.
Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
I'm not.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
She is. I don't. She's got a shit situation. That's all I'm gonna say.
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been made. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are.
Okay.
But the best of us? The best? Inspirations. Miracle workers. My parents were soul twins. Miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other. Turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid.
That's an interesting, kind of like ideology, standpoint. It's like you can be the animancers can be these horrible people who prey on weak-minded souls and just kind of manipulate and use them. Or you can do amazing things, help someone find their soulmate, help someone with suicidal tendencies, help someone remember who they are, help someone say goodbye, and that's a unique kind of like field of study that they put into this game, I think, honestly. Unique idea. That's a word.
It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valiant Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
Oof, that's horrible. Okay, other questions. I
Of
said
course, dear.
Souls break over time.
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again. But less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success.
Okay.
A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
Obviously, your character's one of those who have stuck together and apparently avoided Rimmergan's influence, which is interesting.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldera closes her eyes and her head slumps forward over the noose. And your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. So I was finally given the Crucible of the Soul. Aloth looks at you through narrowed eyes. Are you alright? You seemed lost just now. Watcher. He arched his eyebrows, receding into his hood. Well, that is interesting. He gives you a sly grin. And I expect this has something to do with the hooded figures in the ruins, In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. Do you know anything about Watchers? Only that they're rare, and they seem to have unique insights into certain soul conditions. As you just demonstrated. My beauty.
17 and a half.
I'm sorry, what, Adair? The smell of pipe smoke, at once earthy and sweet, winds its way into your nostrils. Your eyes trace the smoke to its origin, where you find a broad man with straw-colored hair leaning against a mossy rock wall, his pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks you directly in the eye, but the look is not aggressive. He regards you with a peculiar smirk.
17 and a half. Well, it could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
What are you talking about?
People hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted, anyway.
Aloth frowns. Is that what you people do for fun around here?
Name's Adair. Though to the people around here, might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops. You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
Oh my gosh. I love Adair. He extends his hand, and he looks you up and down and grimaces.
The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta.
That's not what I was trying to do, but thank you for trying, sir. He looks at you a moment, his brow arched. His smirk broadens.
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first.
Oh, ouch. Ouch.
Careful, friend. Let's not use that word round here. There'd be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot. Ciphers, animancers, watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here, Radric especially. They come to these parts all the time with their cures, preying on the desperate. None of them are who they claim to be. Of course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense.
Ooh. I'm taken. Good. They don't mean it personal when they hang folks here. I have to remind myself.
The town's had it in for me for a long time now. Only fella who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there. My headman on the farm. Used to be my captain during the war.
A war. Saints' War. Only one in my lifetime. Fella decided he was living incarnation of Eothas. Overthrows Red Ceres. Marches on Deerwood. So we gave him a Deerwoodian hello. Deerwood and hello. And what's a Deerwood and hello?
Blew 'em up.
Love that. We blew him up. Just straight. He smiles at this, but it's a smile of one cutting a joke to the effect for effect rather than enjoyment. Nice. Eothas is the god of rebirth and redemption, formally, anyhow. Maybe they'll call him something different where you're from. Got time, so why was your headman hanged? He got involved. Okay. Radric sent men down here the other day. Said they had it on good authority someone in town was working with Kolsk, plotting Radric's overthrow. Said if he didn't come forward right then and there, they'd hang every last one of us. No one is coming forward, so Swithin, that's my headman, he steps up and says it's him. They took him at his word. He sighs and shakes his head, eyes fixed on the tree. Bound to happen sooner or later, if not for plotting against Radric, then for protecting me. What does the town have
Pick the
against you?
wrong god. That's what it comes down to.
Oof.
Used to be a lot of Aethys worshippers in Gilded Vale. That mess of rocks over there, there was a temple to him, to give you some idea.
Ouch.
Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Deerwood's doorstep. Says he's the living flesh of Aethys. Got an army with him. Suddenly, Aethys isn't so popular in these parts. My brother Woden and me, neither of us believed it. No way was that Aethys. He enlisted, and then I did too. But, he didn't make it back.
Oh.
After the war, people took to punishing Aethys worshippers, accusing them of treason. Got real ugly, especially after the legacy started. Folks needed someone to blame. I was safe because I fought, but then this rumor starts that my brother, that he was on the wrong side. And I wasn't so safe anymore. Until my headman stepped in and said they'd have to hang him to get to me.
Shit.
Seems that's no longer a concern. Of course, the townies don't do the hanging these days, but when Raedric's men come, they got no problem doing the pointing.
Aloth glances at you and lowers his voice. You can see why I was eager to leave. So who's Kolsk? Someone who got tired of all the hangings. He's on the run now. Probably will be till they catch him. And if you're next to be hanged, what are you still doing here? Drinking, mostly. Point of fact, I'm on my way out. Just haven't figured out where I'm going yet. Not a whole lot of places out there that don't think Widewind's legacy started with Widewind. We could travel together. Where are you headed? Some place called Cadnois. There's an old watcher there who might be able to
I
help
seem
me.
to remember hearing something about that years ago. He tamed that place. People would seek him out for all kinds of things. Troubles of the soul, questions for the departed. Of course, that was back when you didn't have to say watcher with a hush on your breath. A man such as that, there'd be things I'd want to ask him. Don't know why I never thought of it before.
Something kindles in Eder's eyes, and the vigor of purpose finds its way into his voice.
Not sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger, and a strange one at that. But, truth be told, you might be the only one in town who wouldn't feel some relief seeing me swing from that tree.
Okay, so he scratches his beard absently with a calloused thumb. There's a fine reason if I've ever heard one.
Alright then. Guess I'll do some sightseeing. Long as you're not the one picking the sights.
He glances briefly at the tree, and then he tilts his head forward and gives you a pointed look. Hey, I was talking to, a thing. So. No, that's not what I meant. I hit 6. Awesome, so I have 3 people.
Oh?
Sweet. Okay, so what's my quest look like? I already did the find the door from the dream. I've done that. I have a word now for what I've become, a watcher. It seems if I'm to learn more of this about this affliction, I must seek out a man called Merwald in the old keep of Cadnois, which I will. So, we're going to go to meet Merwald eventually. Fragments of Scattered Face is with Eder. Wait for oh yeah, I need to go talk to the people inside the tavern, which I will do that
Certainly.
next. I just want to see what things over here there are. Speak to Urgent if you're in need of instruction. Just keep out of trouble. Urgent.
I have received confirmation that Lord Radric's heir was not born well.
Oh shit.
My lord has issued an injunction on all new homesteads until he can be assured that the village has been cleansed of all Eothasians and whatever other undesirables that have brought this curse upon his lands.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It would be best if you left town as soon as possible. I would suggest returning to your old home. There will be no place for you here.
Rude.
You may stay at the inn until you can make the necessary arrangements, but I would not advise remaining long. I expect Lord Radric will be most thorough in his efforts to purify this place.
Then you should have no problem continuing on. Trust me when I say it would be best if you're not here when Lord Radric's men are dispatched from his hold. They will be looking for anyone who might have brought the legacy upon us, whose very presence might have polluted his wife's womb. They will extinguish all possibilities. Okay. You're at least trying to, be polite about it. Is there aha, there is a map. Alfra's house, Ingroid's house, Windmill. And it's the road east. Black Hammer Smithery. Temple of Aethys, which I want to explore. That's the road south. And then the Black Hound Inn. I don't know what that is. So let's go up here. Feels like I've been throwing more bandits on the road of late. Okay. If I remember correctly, this has to do with that, the gal who helped save me. Zlox the Usurper and Clink. As you near, you feel vibrant history contained within the essence of this man's soul. Voices from the past seem to call out to you. You see a small group of people gathered around the ruins of a house. The destruction continues, out from the single dwelling, through the entire village. Not a single building still stands. Rubble is scattered everywhere. One of the men in the group leans over something in the debris. It is this man, younger, barely more than a boy. The man reaches out and shakes the boy by the shoulder. The boy makes no sound and doesn't respond to the man's disturbance. The man looks up at the other members of the group and shrugs, standing to rejoin his friends. The boy suddenly sits up, eyes wide. He scrabbles backward, away from the group, looking around in horror. The group moves toward him in unison, eliciting a yelp from the boy, who tries to move further away. A woman in the group puts out her hands, stopping the rest. She turns to them reproachfully, motions for them to stay, then looks at the boy on the ground, who is trying to push himself through what remains of a wall. He seems unaware he has even stopped. The woman slowly moves toward the boy, hands out, speaking in a low, calming tone. For a time, the boy doesn't even hear her. He just closes his eyes and braces himself against the wall, expecting violence. Eventually, the woman's words work through the fear, and he hears her. He opens his tear-filled eyes and stares at her. She holds out a hand to him. He looks at it, seemingly confused by the offer, then hesitantly reaches out. She takes his hand in hers and leans down to help him stand. Aw. That's cute. Zlox the Usurper. As you near, you feel vibrant history containing the essence of this man's soul. Reach for the soul. You see a lone man standing in a field. He looks around, surveying the crops. Occasionally he bends to examine a leaf up close. He is intent on what he is doing, completely absorbed in his work. This man approaches him from behind. He moves slowly, but does nothing to mask his approach. In his hand he holds a large sword. There appears to be no malice or hatred in the man's demeanor. He almost seems pleased. The first man hears his approach and stands, turning away from the plant he is inspecting. His face breaks into a smile, and he opens his arms to welcome the approaching man. The smile freezes into a grimace as the second man thrusts the sword through his stomach, its blade now protruding from his back. His arms slowly fall to his side, and blood starts to drip from the sword onto the plants below the man. The first man crumples to his knees. The second pulls the sword out, a tear slowly falling down the cheek of his still smiling face. Well, that's sad and creepy. Slight disconnect with my keyboard, but that's okay. Go inside. Okay, so what's going on here? Let's see. I'm not gonna steal from you. The worn dog-eared book is titled Travels Upon the Kelblasi. There's an etched illustration of a vast finned leviathan. A Derwoodian woman is standing in front of the fireplace, humming a quiet tune to herself, or perhaps her unborn child, for she is clearly quite pregnant. She turns her head as slightly as you enter.
Hello.
Well, finally, I was starting to think. The woman makes a startled noise when she turns around and sees you. Oh, I'm sorry, I was expecting someone else. She gives you a cautious smile. Can I help you? Were you with one of the caravans? She looks at you hopefully. Master Odemas by chance? You knew Odema. Well, no more than most here, I'd say. He doesn't usually come this way, but they say he's a reliable old fellow. She pauses, brows furrowing. Wait, why do you say new? Sorry, the caravan was attacked. Alfra covers her mouth with a hand, eyes wide with horror. For a few moments she can manage nothing but a strangled, voiceless gasping, her eyes brimming with tears. I told her it was a dangerous path to take. Kalisha was always so certain she could take on any danger. Alfra sniffs. Oh, my poor sister. I'm sorry, stranger. I can't believe she's gone. If only I hadn't called her here. If I hadn't written to her, she might still be alive somewhere. Alfra's face crumbles, and a solitary tear slides down her cheek. Kalisha mentioned she thought you needed help. Perhaps I can provide some assistance. Alfra looks at you with some surprise, before dabbing her nose with her sleeve. That's kind of you to offer, but I don't know if I could impose this on you. It's not a small favor. Alfra wipes her eyes. I'm worried about the baby, about the legacy. I told Kalisha as much as I could, but all I know is that for a long time now, every child born in Gilded Vale has been soulless, empty. It happens to so many mothers, and Lord Radric, he's exiled all of them, calling it a sign of God's disfavor. She sniffs. With my Hathort gone, I don't know if I'd manage if I lost my home too. I hoped Kalisha would help me. They say Ragna, the old midwife, knows a way to prevent a child from being hollowborn, but she moved south to Anslog's Compass 2 seasons ago. The journey's too far for me. I can't make it as I am, but I don't have anyone else now, with Kalisha gone. More tears run down her face. Please, can you help me? I'll find Ragna. Alfra blinks wide, eyes wide. You will? Oh, gods bless you. Here, I'll give you coin to pay her with. You needn't trouble yourself with that, but I think it's a drink she fashions out of, well, I'm not sure, but it shouldn't be too much a burden to carry back. Anslog's Compass is what we call the lagoon to the south. You'll have to cross the wilds to get there. That's what keeps me from trying it by myself. She clasps her hands together. Thank you again, truly. You'll be saving us both. She sets a hand on her stomach, smiling through her tears. Aww. Can I ask you about the kitty?
Traveler.
See, tell me about the village. Breathing. Let me think. We're farmers, mostly, but there has always been work and opportunity for people coming in from elsewhere. In the old days, at least, the Black Hammer Smithery has been here for a long time. That's Tau Tanu's place, south of the mill. And then there's the Black Hound, just a ways south of here, she sighs, trailing off. I have to admit, I don't go out much anymore. With that horrible tree out there, things aren't like they used to be. I don't have anywhere else to go. Whose lands are these? The Radric family has held title over these lands for a generation. Their keep is northeast of here, past the eastern wood. She holds up a hand. I wouldn't go near, mind. He doesn't see visitors or petitioners. Not these days. Some people say that, well, that there are some bad seeds in that line. A weaker soul. Maybe that's why. She hesitates. Well, never mind. I'm sure Lord Radric has his reasons. Okay. I will be going. Can I talk to the kitty? No, I can't. Okay. That's fine. Out the door. Let's see, you're just villager. Let's go this way. Hey. Villager, and probably villager, yep. Okay. Pick some berries. Go inside and see what's in here. Steel, okay. Kara Iloth. As you near, you feel vibrant history contained within the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from the past call out to you. You see a crowded marketplace, vendor stalls lining the road, their proprietors' voices calling out to passerbys to come sample their wares. This woman wanders through the throngs, strolling hand in hand with another woman. They peruse the vendor's goods, staring at a book merchant with a number of old, beautiful tomes, chatting with one another about what they see. One will pick up a book and show it to the other, who will take it, comment on it, and place it back on its shelf. Then the first will snatch up the book again and quickly pay the merchant before the other can snatch it back. They walk away from the market, weighed down by packs filled with books, still hand in hand, standing close, comfortable and familiar with each other. As they pass down a somewhat deserted street, an object suddenly hits the woman in the chest and bounces off, rolling away toward one of the buildings. The woman stops and looks at the object, an apple, and then back up the person who threw it. There is nothing special about him aside from the angry look on his face and the 2 other apples he holds. Before either woman can move, the man draws back and throws another one at them, this time hitting the second woman in the forehead. He yells at them, something derisive and hateful, something about a legacy and about responsibilities. The woman raises her hand to her head, wipes the juice and bits of fruit from her face, and stares at the man down defiantly. The first woman squeezes her hand and puts the other one on her companion's shoulder, attempting to calm her down. The other woman pulls a book from her pack and holds it before her, muttering under her breath. She pulls her hand free and waves it above the book, an aura forming around her. The first woman is still trying to calm her down, but all she says goes unheard. The man, uncaring of the events happening in front of him, draws back and throws the last apple. As it arcs through the air toward them, the second woman brings up her hand and points it at the apple. A glowing orb of energy flies from her hand and strikes the apple, causing it to explode, raining bits of apple down on the road and buildings around them. The man's face changes, anger joined by fear, looking like he's trying to decide if running or attacking is the better course of action. The second woman has started chanting again, her hand glowing, her eyes narrowing. This woman steps in front of her, placing herself between her love and their attacker. She touches her face, gently stroking it while whispering calming words. A kiss. The woman's countenance changes. She calms, her eyes softening, her lips regaining the lost smile. The first woman smiles again, as well, and kisses the other. Wizard scum, the man behind them says, and the 2 women turn to face him, staring him down defiantly. They join hands and begin walking again, moving past him without so much as a sideways glance. So, she gay. Cool. Edlin Brioston. As you near, you feel vibrant history contained within the woman's soul. You see a key, turn gently, steady, hear a ghostly click at the door swings inward, 2 figures slip in, locking the door behind them, and begin their prowl. Their hunt is efficient, and it takes little time for them to acquire a sizable collection of documents and oddly shaped velvet pouches. Quick hands fill pockets, rucksacks, bags. The door opens downstairs and everything freezes. Footsteps, a tired giggle. The thieves are all eye whites and short breath as they empty their pockets of all but the necessities. Anything noisy hurriedly replaced. Silence from downstairs, then tentative steps upon the staircase. A voice calls out. One thief creeps forward, the other gesticulating wildly for him to return. He continues forward, crouching by the banister. He sees a gaudy shoe and shoves. The woman falls with a cut-off scream, rolling lifelessly to the floor below. Swearing, the second thief grabs her brother and they make their escape, collecting whatever of value they can on the way out. Damn. Alright, if I'm sneaking...
I'll see what I can find.
Anything worthwhile if I'm sneaking? Oh, I might actually be able to steal shit.
Sharp eyes and keen ears.
Are you still gonna notice me? Ha ha ha. You're gonna see me. You're gonna walk this way. I can actually steal stuff here. That's cool. I'm doing it. If I can get away with it, I'm totally doing it. I have to wait till she's back up in that corner. There we go. And that worked in my favor. Oh, let me unstealth. Okay, map. Let's see what else there is. Okay. Sure. what's in here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. The wrong button. Amgrid, this man appears to have been deep conversation working at closing two bulging satchels. They move to embrace until the woman notices your approach and pauses, her smile faltering a little.
Good day, stranger.
Can we help you? She looks at her companion, brows furrowing with confusion. Do you know this woman, Nonton? Nonton coughs. Yes, I think we met in Valewood. I warned her about the bear. He inclines his head. Glad to see you've made it. Was there something else you two wanted? You two seem to be in a hurry. Yes, I imagine so, Ingrid laughs. We're packing for a trip, actually. I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay, and she looks to Nonton. Well, in truth, I think we've had my fill of this town. Nonton reaches to take her hand. It's time for some new scenery, he says. Is there anything you can tell me? Ingrid smiles wryly. Only that you'll want to be moving on as soon as you can. You'll have seen the tree, I imagine, but that rock goes deeper. If you were looking for work, I'd say you have better chances of it elsewhere. We're headed for Defiance Bay ourselves, Nonton adds. Okay, goodbye. I'm just gonna, casually take some shit from you.
Nice and
stealth to see
quiet.
if there's anything.
What have we here?
See, knew it. Thank you. Unstealth. Go over here. Read that. Empty bottle of Sunreed is half. Okay, bottle of Sunreed is half empty. Cool. So he's the one with the bear. Story about the bear. Okay. Let's see, map. What else have we got? Windmill. Let's go see what's up here. Oh. Okay, events are happening. We know there's more grain in there, Trumbull. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on our crops. A muffled shouting emerges from inside the mill. The first of you drunkards comes through that door, gets shot between the eyes. Gods hear me, Swainer. I'll put you down like a dog. Come away now, lads, but we'll be back, Trumbull, and we'll have fair prices, or by the flame, we'll have a reckoning. Ooh. Okay. So that's, a feud. And new quest. Cool. Real quick, I'm gonna grab this. Thank you. And sure, let's see what's going on here. See what this feud's all about. An elven man stands before you, his relatively stocky build suggesting a life of labor. His face is pale and drawn, and his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and woman exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club as you enter. It shakes violently in his grip. Get back if you value your life. I'm not here to hurt anyone. The miller hesitates, then lowers the club. Wait, I know you. You just came into town, right? Don't tell me Swainer's already got his claws at you. Gods, that's all I need. I'm gonna go with who's Swainer. The dwarf, the one standing out there spreading lies among the villagers. Bastard's been here for decades, and he hasn't gotten any kinder with time. The miller hesitates and lowers his club a fraction. Who are you? Is Swainer roping foreigners into his little crusade now? I am Zephyr, and I only just arrived here. Trumbull shakes his head. You picked a bad time to come visiting. Gilded Vale's had all its shine scraped off. Just a big dung heap now, and Swainer thinks he's king of it. They're all of them mad. Okay, so what was the ruckus outside? Trumbull shakes his head. Where to begin? Swainer's whipped them up into froth, going on about grain stores, claims I've hidden away most of it. All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of thin air, and I can't hand it out for free. I pay the farmers for the crops they bring in, and I sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Black Hound on the west side of town for ale, and Swainer and his lot sure don't mind that part. You take a look at the fields on the way into town, the crop's blighted, and most of what I'm getting from the farmers, Trumbull gestures to the sacks and containers, it's gone off, rotted through. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I've barely got enough good grain to ground. Swainer's howling after things he has no right to. Maybe that. Trumbull frowns. It's not. He pauses. Look, Swainer's always been a rotten bastard. With stores so limited, maybe I save the good stuff for people who deserve it. Alfra, for instance. She's expecting a child. Should I let her starve instead? Do the villagers know about the grain supply? Trumbull looks embarrassed. The innkeeper, for instance. It's better not to worry anyone. I'll be trading for supplies soon enough. If we can keep things calm until then, we'll be in the clear. Trumbull winces. I wouldn't drink the ale, is all I'm saying. Oh. Ouch. The miller all but sags with relief. I'd be grateful if you did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it, and we'll all have to make some sacrifices. We'll be in your debt for it, if you can convince him. I will do my damnedest. Mushy and mottled with green. Okay, yeah, so that's definitely... That is 100% rotted.
I'll
Cool.
see what I can find.
I'm just gonna, casually loot some shit while I'm here. Is there any secrets? Secrets. Secrets. No. Okay. No secrets. Cool. We're good. Alright. Out the door. No secrets. Let's see what else is there to look at. So I've been up there, I've been there. Have I been in here? No. Don't think I have. Ooh, more people. As you near, you feel... Okay, yeah, it's gonna be the same thing. You see a pair of immaculately polished leather boots and an impeccably maintained goatee. Their owner, a slightly hook-nosed man with a wicked grin and narrow eyes. He bobs his feathered hat in a nearby merchant as he ambles by, a small piece of parchment held tight in his fist, ink staining his fair fingers. He seems to know most of the merchants in the market, stopping to gauge some, nodding at others, and even bartering for minor goods with a select few, always smiling, laughing, and exchanging jibes. He approaches a heavy-set Aomawa, smile plastered stiff across his face, and jokes about the weather, and she jokes back, subtly palming him several gold coins. When he walks away, the paper in his hand is gone, and the smile on his face far more genuine. He tips his captor, winking, and trundles off with a new spring in his step. Ah. As you near, you feel vibrant history. You see a large crowd gathered in the middle of a courtyard. This man stands in the midst of them, a cloak pulled over his head, holding it closed around his neck. The crowd has congregated around a platform, and they all watch, transfixed, as a man is led to the platform, flanked by 2 city guardsmen. The man is shackled, hand and foot, but carries himself as a nobleman, not deigning to even glance at the crowd. The cloaked man pulls his cover closer around his face and turns to leave, hunching over to avoid being seen. A crier on the platform unrolls a parchment and begins to read, but the man pays no attention, intent on getting away from the courtyard. The crier's voice grows louder and more intense as he reads, and voice from the crowd start to punctuate his sentences. The jeers and shouts grow more frequent, and with each one, the cloaked man flinches and his shoulders droop. He breaks from the crowd, coming to the edge of the courtyard as the crier reaches the end of his proclamation. The crowd goes silent again, save for the occasional shout. The man turns back to look at the platform, seeing his father kneeling before the block, neck exposed. The executioner moves into position, lifting his axe to strike. The man turns suddenly, unable to watch. There is a wet thunk, and the crowd breaks into cheers and applause. He leans against the wall, regaining his composure, and straightens up. With obvious resolve, he strides off, away from the crowd and his legacy. Shit. Well, that sucks. Okay, I can't go in there. Cool. Anything up here? Nope. Anything over here? We are looking for some stuff, and I see nothing, so... Okay, map. That's the hammer. Let's go... Yeah, let's go down here. See what's here. I'm exploring and looking for secrets. Villager. So it's interesting because you run into named characters, and the named characters either there are people you can talk with sometimes, or they have secrets.
I'll see what I can find.
Okay, no one can see me. Thank you. Let's go up here. See if anyone. Oh, you're gonna see me. Yep. Alright, we're gonna hang up here until you move. Because hopefully you move in a direction that means I can steal this shit. So let's see. Are you going to move? Come on. Nope, I'm visible by everyone at this point.
I'll see what I can find.
Let's see if you go anywhere else.
I shall be discreet.
Do you still see me? Yep, you still see me. Okay. Well, that's not going to change anytime soon. Let's see what's over here. You see a man crouching surreptitiously alone, a series of untamed shrubs that all that hides him from the vision. His eyes are locked on the Delimgan, beautiful and terrible, eyes half livid as she hums. A bird with fantastic blue and orange plumage sits on her shoulder, trilling gently, and the man is entranced. Trembling, tentative, he stands, and the tranquility is broken. Oh, that's something else. And the tranquility is broken by the bird's startled squawk. The Delimgan half smiles, beckoning with twig-like fingers. She does not speak as he approaches, his mouth is dripping sounds of awe and admiration. She waits, coy and tempting. With agonizing slowness, he is before her. Then something changes. She sees something hanging limply from his side, and begins to hiss, fingers suddenly claws and eyes black with hate. He has no time to reach for his axe or grimoire as she strikes, and just as soon as she strikes, she is gone. The only evidence of her existence, the shuddering wreck on the ground. He grabs at his grimoire nevertheless, and begins to chant. But the words of a magical language of his own imagining, scribbled in a maniacal shorthand, ring hollow, and the silence continues unabated. He turns and shrugs at someone or something, but if there is something there, you do not see it. Okay, that's creepy. That's creepy. You see a group of adventurers surrounded by a crowd attacking Zarops. This man is with them, seemingly unconcerned by the battle, even detached from it, as he stands in the middle of his comrades, chanting, his expression bordering on elation. His voice is powerful and deep, booming out across the combatants as a rich counterpoint to the chaos of their fighting. With every phrase, the battlefield changes. His allies glow with pulsing blue light, freezing the Zarops around them. Blazing pyre erupts from the ground, cutting off and burning creatures and sending them scattering. One of the fallen Zarops suddenly explodes as 3 giant grubs crawl from its corpse and attack the remaining enemies. The man continues to chant, thoroughly enthralled in the joy of the moment. Finally, the creatures have been reduced to 1. His allies stand back as the man approaches it, still chanting. He removes his hammer and swings it at the Zarop. His phrase ends as the hammer connects with his head, punctuating the spell and bringing its song to an end. Okay. Okay.
I'll see what I can find.
Just want to see if there's any other secrets. Secrets. Answer is no. Okay, so this guy has basically sold shit all. Alma man of impressive build, towering above the countertop. His skin is dusky blue, and the deeper oceans, and his thick arms boast corded muscles, small ears frame a squared jaw, face coated in smeared soot, and arcing black tattoos alike. He offers a broad smile as you approach. Welcome. You're the first new face I've seen in quite some time. What can I do for you? Is this your shop? That it is. Been here near on 20 years now. Seen all manner of things over the years. Good luck and bad. Tautano glances at the guard standing along the watch wall, but the Black Hammer smithy remains. You come to us at a strange time, I'm afraid. The stock's not what it used to be, but we find weapons and armor to offer yet. All forged right here at the Black Hammer. Okay, so what happened? We just don't have the supplies. Been expecting the next delivery for near on a week now, and haven't seen sign of it. Have to expect they were hit by bandits. The road out east is crawling with them. Or my workers ran off with the wagon themselves, maybe to make some coin. As if that lot would dare. He's right about the bandits. The dire situations in villages like this and the exodus to cities has created far too many opportunities for unscrupulous sorts. Tautanu scratches at his jaw, thinking, if you would happen to be headed that way, maybe you could keep an eye out for a supply wagon. Or my shipment, at least. They'd be cutting through the Black Meadow, I'd expect. Only good road for it. As it is, most of our weapons go to His Grace, Lord Radric. Tautanu glances to the nearby guard. And that's as it should be. But doesn't leave much for outsiders. We just don't have the iron. Okay. I'd appreciate your trying, anyhow. You bring back the supplies, at least. I'll have much more to offer you. A discount to start. And if you find my workers, you give them a good smack upside the head for me. Okay, so new quest. Cool. Out the door. Ah! I keep bumping my microphone, which my thing that holds my microphone is broken now. So my microphone's literally kind of hanging by a thread. Not my fault. I didn't want it to turn into that, but you know. Okay, cow. Tons of cows, a villager, some more villagers. Okay. Does the cow make a moo? Nope. That's sad. Alright, I dealt with the windmill. What's this? Oh, there's stuff to do with Ingrid, if I remember. Yeah, the bear that he's reportedly seen that killed his friend. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go this way. Oh, more people. Okay, named. Stop it. You see a room, bright and warm, covered in greenery. There is a spot in the entire space that doesn't have some kind of plant growing in it. Small, germinating seeds in a corner here. Large, sprawling vines climbing walls there. Although most of the plants are actually some kind of container. There are a few that have grown from the dirt floor itself. These are just as lovingly cared for as anything else in the room. The man wanders through the plants, smiling at each and every one, an old pipe clenched between his teeth. Stopping next to one, he touches a leaf, lifting to look at the underside, then gently rubs it between his fingers. He takes a small handful of the soil it grows in, crushes it with his fingers. Satisfied, he drops the soil back into the pot and continues on to the next plant. He hums a low and cheery tune as he moves among the plants, occasionally stopping to sing a few words of something to one of them. Finally, he reaches the door. Having visited every plant in the room, he turns back to look at them. A look of supreme pleasure on his face. Then he turns back and is gone. Let's see, what about Ronan? You see a group of people standing around a wagon transfixed on a sword as it swings in a large, graceful arc. The man holds the sword, passing it from hand to hand with relaxed ease, making the blade dance in front of his audience. He tosses it in the air, spins, then puts an arm behind his back to catch it. The crowd claps excitedly, and a couple of them gasp, certain they were about to see a tragedy. Not as in-depth as some of the visions I've gotten. Plant to harvest. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so inside we go. talk to
Well met,
Posca.
friend.
Let's see. So, more about the Black Hound. 10 Frisk the big draw. I'm sure he'll get crowds back in no time. I used to work the stables, actually, until the old owner pulled up and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him. Even his poor hound behind. That's the name, see? The Black Hound. Still upstairs punting after him. Poor old girl. Place ended up in my hands somehow. My very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's worth it so far. Okay. Let's see what you have for sale. I am looking for supplies. It's grain, cheese, milk, camping supplies. That's not what I need. I need like a grappling hook or something. Question is, where do you get one? Not from here, apparently. Denvrith, you got anything to say? My savior, it's so good to be back. Do not let this go unrewarded. I have decided my recipe. Aww, savory pie. Thank you. I'm
Silence
gonna turn so I can
surrounds me.
steal. Because now that I know I can do that without you seeing me. Nope. I'm still in vision for you. Bugger. Okay. That's not gonna work. Let's see. Do I have named characters that I can interact with? Here we go. These guys. Right. I need to talk with these guys down here.
Hey,
Don't know who you are. Don't much care. Keep walking. We're not here to chat with foreigners. Aloth narrows his eyes. Careful. Looks like they're they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. He wrinkles his nose. Smells like it too. Let's see. I saw you outside the mill. Well, someone fancies themselves a meddler, eh? What's that about? It's about Trumbull thinking he's king of the town on account he's got the mill to his name. The dwarf's jowls quiver with rage. It's about him barely giving us anything for the wheat we bring him, and then cutting our purses when we need to buy grain. It's about farmers going hungry while some bastard gets rich off their crops. Ooh. What are you doing here, then? What does it look like drinking till I forget how much I want to pitch for their Trumbull's face? Okay, what if I buy you around? Fair enough, you bring us something to wet our throats, and it might appeal to training words. Okay. So, how do I... I've brought drinks. Oh, I had drinks in my inventory. By the flame, I never thought I'd be so happy for a mug of the Black Hound's shit beer. God, that's good. Alright, then, you got my attention. What is it you've got to say that's worth a round of drinks? Maybe you could ask some of the villagers. Let's see. It's like I said, the miller's in charge of the grain prices. He says they're fair, but I know for a fact that folks like Alfra pay half what we do. The dwarf sighs. And maybe we've been a bit rough with him, but what are we supposed to do? We can't keep paying. We're going to starve, and do you think Trumbull's going to feel sorry about it for when we do? Okay. Swiner eyes you for a few long moments, drinking deep from his mug. Then he sighs. You're right. Things go on like they are. We're just going to end up hanging from that tree out there. He looks at his comrades. Tell Trumbull we'll leave him be. Don't think we don't know what we'll do now with the crops failing. Haven't got another trade to speak of. Think Pasha needs a hand around the inn. Here we go. Okay, report to Trumbull. Fucking magistrate. Oh my gosh. Wow. Terrible. Okay, let's go talk with these guys. These are very obviously like adventurers and shit. You see a woman emptying her satchel onto her bed, taking stock of her inventory. Potions, bandages, tinctures, and herbs all scattered throughout her room haphazardly. She bites her lip, head tilted to the side, considering. She begins to repack one item after the other. Careful deliberation, undercut by shaking hands. Each item has clearly marked place, but no matter how she repacks she isn't satisfied. The shaking worsens as she empties it out once more. One hand to her mouth, tears ache from her eyes as she gives up all semblance of order and shoves everything she can into the satchel, grabbing it and running out of the warehouse. Straightening her back, she walks to the docks, chin high, eyes hard and red. A gangly young elf offers his condolences, but she can't see him for the ocean ahead of her. She wanders on the docks, offering her services as a doctor to any who will listen. anyone heading out on high tide. Less than an hour later, she watches her childhood disappear in the distance, a tiny speck of an island, and tries not to jump. Ouch. You see a group of young men standing around a makeshift practice target. This man stands in the middle of them, explaining the construction and use of a bow. He holds it up, pointing out each part as he speaks about it and what it does. He then walks away from the target, telling them to remain where they are, and takes his place about 200 feet away. He carefully lines up his shot, explaining what he is doing as he does, and lets the arrow fly. It hits the target dead center, much to the surprising delight of the boys near it. He smiles, walking toward the boys, talking about proper stance and how most effectively to hold a bow. A noise comes from the tree line near their practice venue, and he stops, scanning the woods, blue eyes squinting against the sun. A shadow moves, making its way through the forest behind them. He draws an arrow, lines up the shot, carefully, tracking the motion of the hidden creature. Loosing the arrow, he wastes no time and quickly grabs another. The boys spin, watching the arrow fly into the forest, immediately lost among the tree line, running across the edge of the clearing. The boys laugh, There's a sudden explosive movement in the undergrowth as a deer erupts. The boys laugh, turning to joke with the man about his lousy shot. They stop talking, see him holding the bow and leading the deer with a knocked arrow. They drop to the ground as he looses the last arrow, which flies true and strikes the deer right behind the shoulder, piercing its heart and lungs, and dropping it dead almost immediately. The boys stare at the deer for a few seconds, and then slowly turn to look at the man, newfound respect in their eyes. He smiles again and breathes a quiet sigh of relief. Jeez. Let's see. Caroser. Don't care about you. Go in here, in guest. Sure.
The work of a moment.
Uh-huh.
Keep an eye out.
Named people. You see a man soar through the air, hitting a nearby wall with a nauseating crunch. He doesn't get up. His attacker, a burly, clean-cut warrior with carnivorous grin, turns and shoves his fist into the stomach of another assailant, removing another from the impromptu brawl. The bar is whirlwind of elbows, knees, fists, and feet, with no end in sight, and he is in his element. In the corner, 3 smaller men speak quietly, throwing malicious glances at the larger man at the center. He breaks a chair over a tattooed head, cackling. The trio position themselves in the parts of the room, and a terse nod they charge. Unfortunately for them, the man sees them coming. Something in his eyes burns brightly, and all 3 slump to the ground in agony. That's all in their minds. The burly man bows to a room of the unconscious and incapacitated before sauntering out, off-key whistling behind him. You see an emaciated boy in chains, black holes for eyes, staring sightlessly at a wall. A man in a dark coat walks in, a scroll and an oddly shaped quill in his hands. The boy glances at him, expressionless, a corpse waiting for animation. The man clucks at him, disapproval clear in his tone. The boy stands, limbs hanging. The man takes the quill and begins to write on the boy's chest, copying sharp, angular symbols from the scroll. The child doesn't flinch as the quill digs into his skin, drawing blood as it goes. The wizard finishes with a flourish and barks some arcane command, setting the symbols to glow dully. The boy cries out, knees hitting the stone hard, his chest burning black and red. Finally, the glow disappears, leaving only hard black scars etched into skin. He slumps sideways, twitching, eyes facing in the back of his skull. The wizard grunts, kicking him on the leg with his way out. The boy lies on the floor until dawn. Eyes still black like holes, the twitches growing into convulsive shakes. Your character's Shane shakes. Alright. Oh, poor man. You see a long empty road cutting through 2 large crop fields. The air is silent and the land seems too still for early afternoon. This woman walks slowly on the road leading a horse, curiously looking around. She seems to sense something wrong but is unable to discern what it is. She stops sniffing the air, her nose high. Her brow crinkles, and she casts about, looking for something. The air is clear, no clouds. She sniffs again, still looking around, confusion clouding her face, mouthing a single word. Fire? She looks across the field, and her confusion turns to fear. She holds her hand up to block the sun from her eyes and scans the field again. Not finding what she's looking for, she jumps onto her horse's back, the fear quickly becoming panic. She kicks and sending the horse shooting down the path, which bends some trees to where the farmhouse should be. She pulls up short, horror now in residence on her face, as she stares at the burned and charred mess that used to be her family's home. Tears well in her eyes as she kicks again, racing into the rubble. Coco. Sorry, girl. Maybe we'll find him along the way. Yay! Okay. Let's go out the door. We're gonna go to the blacksmith because I'm looking for a grappling hook. Da-da-da. And then I told her, that's not the pistol. Oh, ouch. Reading the little chat down here. That's not the pistol? Ooh, buddy. Alright, I need to see if he has a grappling hook.
Good day, stranger.
Let's see. So what have you got? You've got a lance, pike, sword, buckler, mail armor, breastplate, deflection, cape of withdrawal, bronze horn, grappling hook. Thank you. Okay. And a pry bar. I can use that, actually. Oh. I have to take this real quick. Sorry. I had to deal with something. Damn. I was smart about that. Cool. Okay. Let's see. Sync up inventory just so I can see what people are wearing. I've got hide armor here. I think hide armor is fine for her because she's a monk. And it's actually better if she wears hide armor. Minor cloak of protection, which is good. I need this. There we go. She uses her fists. And then that. I should have that on. Let's see. Okay, neat. Okay. I'm gonna just carefully move some stuff around. this gives you... That's for cooking stuff. Put that in your inventory. Do I want the space pig? Oh, right, I can read these. I forgot about that. I'll get to that in a minute. Ba, 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 ba. Da, 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 da. I thought I didn't have that, but apparently I do. It's for a torch, okay. And then... Okay. And I think I can put a Stuggo into pet slot. There we go. Okay. Click on you. Okay. Oh, okay. That's that. Okay. Put that away. Good. Okay. So I got medium armor. Let's see what have I got. Hood. Do this, that. Okay. You've got a hood on. Okay, you're fine. Okay. It's not gonna do anything to really protect you, but... Yeah. I'll leave you your unique medium armor. Let's see. And you use a saber. Saber has better damage. Okay. And your bow. You have a war bow. Oh, you're better with that. Okay, you're fine. Let's see. Let's go back to you. You have a scepter and a rapier. 1 added fast, 10 to 14. 1 added fast, 10 to 14. Okay, you're fine. Alright, cool. Alright then. Let's go down to our miscellaneous and check these things out. Tattered journal. Small folio is torn in several places, blood soaked into several of the sheets. One later entry is still legible, however. I can't believe my luck. A few rounds of dice, and I've grown my hands on a genuine Angwithan artifact. The fellow who had it said it was pretty nothing, as far as he was concerned. He's not willing to go digging into some sort of ruins, but if he's right about this gem leading to a hidden treasure, then that's worth sneaking past a few painted elves. I'll head to... okay, yeah, I dealt with that already. So that's part 2, 10 Years of Dawn, Deerwood, part 1, 3, 2, and daily efficiency and focus for efficiency. Affirmations of focus and efficiency. All errors can be reforged into lessons. Abaddon rebuilt himself from ruin. No setback is insurmountable, not even death itself, so long as the soul is dedicated to the task. Work hard, work well. Abaddon demands only honest labor and forthright services. All errors can be reforged if your first intentions are pure. All ignorance can be reforged into knowledge. Master your craft, excel at what you have been trusted to do. Do not offend your teacher by remaining a student forever. Each generation must forge its successors. Teach your trade to all who are willing to listen and learn, and in doing so multiply the fruits of your knowledge. All difficulties can be reforged into triumphs. Meet strife with humility and acceptance. Let adversity temper the ingot of your will, and you will never shatter. Embrace your station. Fulfill the duties of your rank and medal. Do not and meddle not in the affairs of your betters. All guilds fail at their weakest link. All loss can be reforged into strength. Profitable work heals all emptiness. So long as you have the tools of your trade, you will always be able to forge wealth anew. Value the work of others, and they will value your work in return. Share the harvest with the hungry, and your tools with the destitute. All souls can be reforged into whatever we will. Hard work is not exclusive to life. Death is no time for complacency. Commit yourself to excellence in this cycle and the next. Okay, cool. Let's start with Dyrwood Part 1, Early Colonial History. No other land has such wild and bloody recent history. From colony to Palatinate to Free Republic, the Dyrwood has undergone a trial by fire to emerge as a powerful force of the Eastern Reach. Dyrwood's history actually begins in Eder in 2602 AI. Eder explorers returned from a journey across the ocean with tales of treasure they found. They discovered countless ruins scattered through the forest, as well as plains to the north of the trees that would be perfect for growing Vorlas. There was a problem, however. The locals were hostile, and there was potential for conflict. The Fairkonig of Eder, first king, knew that this was too good an opportunity to pass up and sent more explorers to scout and map the area. Exploration continued over the next 20 years. Small groups of explorers traveled back and forth between Eder and this new world, with a handful of colonists setting up small camps to establish a base for explorers to work out of. Conflicts with the locals, who Aderns learned were called Glenfathans, were rare, but frequent enough for the Fairkonig to send a small squadron of guards to help protect his citizens. These guards established a central base on a river to the western section of the woods. The settlement would eventually become the city of Dyrford, upon which the modern-day village of the same name is presently built. Once that base was established, the first permanent Ederan settlements began north and west of Bale River. Over the next 3 years, thousands of Ederans made the trek from Eder to this new land. The Glenfathans, who seemed to revere the ruins scattered throughout the forest, caused a few problems with some of the settlements, especially those founded near the ruins themselves. These were easily taken care of by the colonists with the help of the Imperial Guard. The Ederans, in order to further their foothold in the area, reduced the cost of production, and in an attempt to keep the Glenfathan population under control, started making slaves out of any Glenfathans captured during uprisings. This resulted in a great increase in tensions between two groups. With the population of the area growing, an official government structure was established by the Fairkonig. He appointed several earls to preside over the land and assigned them thanes to help them run their territories. And they called the new Grefam the Dyrwood. Dyrford remained the center of the Imperial Guard, but the settlement of Perilwood Gulf, New Dunnard, was the true seat of power for the area. Sitting at the edge of the ocean first, fertile farmland, and a river that runs from the coast to White Marsh, settlers flocked to the area hoping to establish names for themselves. Eder began to spread across the new land. Okay, 2. The Broken Stone War. In 2626 AI, a group of farmers, while clearing farmland for planting, accidentally knocked down one of the ancient Andra menhirs on their land. This innocent act drew the ire of the native population and started what would become known as the Broken Stone War. When it was finally over, several thousand colonists had been killed, as well as hundreds of the Glenfathans. Even though the war was technically over, the Glenfathans escalated their attack on the settlers over the next 2 years, using vicious tactics that left many colonists, several military figures, an earl, and 6 thanes dead. Unable to stop the Glenfathan attacks, the earls elected Earl Edrang Hadret to the position of Gref. Well respected and known to be it's either Gref or Grief. Well respected to be known as the master of military tactics, he was tasked with dealing with Glenfathan threat. Edrang fought with the Glenfathans, led by an Orla named Regd, for the next 2 years. Neither side can gain the upper hand on the other, resulting in a tense stalemate between the two groups. Because of this stalemate, the hostilities slowly died off, and in 2631 the Dyrwooden people signed a treaty with the Glenfathans. Regd would step down, the Glenfathans would stop their attack altogether, and the Dyrwooden people would leave the ruins alone. This treaty angered the nobility in Eder, as it brought to a halt the supply of artifacts. Edrang also tried to get the practice of slavery outlawed, but this was not as successful. Because of this, the peace between the Dyrwood and the Eire Glenfath is uneasy and tumultuous. Small patches of rural violence still cropped up, but were easily dealt with, as neither side wanted another war. And then part 3. After the Broken Stone War, the Deer would see peace and prosperity for 21 years. Aside from the occasional slave uprising or border dispute, nothing of any note happened until 2652 AI. Some of the Deerwooden earls, tired of being restricted by the treaties and encouraged by imperial sources, defied the decrees and actively sent people to loot the ruins of the Deerwood. Response from the Glenfathans was not immediate, but when it came, it was brutal and bloody. There was a slave uprising in Reg, and Reg resumed control of his guerrilla fighters. A contingent of Delimgan joined the forces as well, making the fights in the forest even more deadly for the Deerwooden soldiers. Edrang, then far too old to lead Deerwood in the war, sent his son Admeth to deal with the situation. Admeth, showing the same tactical prowess as his father, set fire to the forest at the Ishe Ur River, and then blocks the forces retreating from the inferno. Some of the Glenfathans escape, but thousands would die in the blaze. Regd is captured and sent to holding in New Heomar. This goes on for several months, and Admeth uses the same tactic many times to flush Glenfathans and Delimgan from the battlefield. It says the goes on. I'm sure it's either the war or this goes. So, spelling error. They crop up from time to time. You're going to run into them, but still. The entire war lasts less than a year. The Deerwood eventually wins, but at a terrible price. The conflict would come to be known as the War of Black Trees. Tragedy struck the Deerwood in 2654 when Edrang, whose health had been waning, succumbed and passed into the cycle. Regd, who had developed a begrudging respect for his constant adversary over the years they had fought, sent Admeth his sincere condolences from captivity in New Heomar. Admeth assumed his father's place as Graef over the Deerwood. The other earls disliked this development and began publicly rebuking Admeth's decrees. In 2655 AI, Admeth, tired of the problems caused by the recalcitrant heirs, but having supported the New Valian dukes and the common folk of Deerwood, having saved them from the Glenfathans, delivers an ultimatum to the fair Konig of Eder. He demands to be made a Graf Palatine. This move would give him authority and power over all the earls, their holdings, and their titles. Deerwood would become a palatinate instead of a grafam. The fair Konig, who did not want to have to deal with the rebellion while trying to establish a hold on the Vorlas trade network in Red Saras, begrudgingly agreed with Admeth's demands. Admeth would use this new power to bring all the earls in line. As a trade-off for being given the power, Admeth put money and resources into all of the Deerwood's ports to increase shipping traffic. In turn, this increased the fair Konig's income. Under Admeth's rule, Deerwood saw 7 productive and profitable years. In 2662 AI, he did what had been tried for many years without success, bringing slavery to an end in the Deerwood. He negotiated the 10 Years' Treaties, so called because it has been 10 years since the War of Black Trees. A timeline was established in which the slaves would be released. The owners would be compensated with money or land for each slave released. If they did not comply, the slaves would be taken and a fine would be levied against the owner. In return, the Glenfathans would open trade with the Deerwood and cede some of their territories to the Deerwooden government. In practice, meaning they would stop contesting the presence of those who lived and ruled there. Hundreds of Coopers attempted to rebel against this. Admeth, expecting just such a reaction, reacted accordingly, and the rebellion was quickly crushed. His agents then spread propaganda through the populace, making the Coopers' rebellion and its instigators seem far worse than they truly were. This tactic worked, and there would be no more trouble. Sheesh. That sucks. This is part 2 of that book, so I don't want to read it. 10 Years of Dawn. 10 years I tilled the Vorlas leaf, and 10 years I told myself that living St. Wydwin's footsteps would bring me rebirth. Each dawn I prayed that if thou art in darkness, he shall bring thee light, and each night would bring the same emptiness. For my decade of living as a simple dye farmer, all I have shown for it is a great deal of purple clothing. Eothas has not spoken to us since he appeared as St. Wydwin. It was my hope that Eothas would claim me as his next vessel, but alas, the Child of Light remains silent. Every day I practice the ritual of banishing the shadows of the unfaithful, and every day I work my fields in solitude without sign of Eothas returning. If thou art in darkness, he shall bring thee light, but how long must I remain lost in this long night of abandonment? Is this my punishment for keeping my faith a secret? Is Eothas hiding from me until I shout my reverence for all to hear? Surely he must know that the Deerwoodens now hate him. and his followers. My countrymen are quick to blame all that was terrible about the Saints' War on those of us still faithful to Eothas. Should they not be angry at the Red Saras soldiers? Do the dear Woodens not realize that to dismiss the god of rebirth and redemption is to prevent all hope of healing? As I pen these words, I know that I must continue to till the dye leaf. I will wake each day with hope. If thou art in darkness, he shall bring me light. Each day I will pray that the dawn stars visit me, just as they visited St. Widwin in his field of Vorlas. Will they come to me as they came to St. Widwin? As a man and two women, luminescent and perfect. I am told they come to presage new times. I am told many things, and I struggle to find faith to believe it all. And yet each morning the sun rises in the eastern sky, and each morning Eothas illuminates my simple plot of land, casting away the shadows of the unfaithful in his golden gaze. I thank thee, Eothas, for all the springs I've had, and all that will come. I am in darkness. Please bring me light. Oh, that's sad. Okay, that's done. I've dealt with that. Thank you for the tutorial. I'm going to go into the woods now. Stretch. Okay, map. And I want up here. Boop. Almost 2 hours. Oh, I have a viewer! I just noticed that. Hi, person. Okay, I want to go back to Valewood. Thank you. Padra, hush your butt. You'll be let in a bit. You gotta stay outside. You're a little too hyper right now, baby, and my head hurts. Puppy really wants to come inside. Okay, let's go this way. Is it this way? I think it's this way. Yeah, over here.
Sharp eyes and keen ears.
I wonder what this is.
Aha. There was a little ball somewhere. Cute. Awesome. Sweet. Not completely a fool. Just, you know, mostly a fool. Okay, now we're gonna nix that and climb up this. Okay, the aged wall appears to have once encircled this entire glade. Only a small fragment remains. The stairs leading away to the top of the structure have crumbled away. Use the grappling hook. You give the grappling hook a few swings for a moment and let fly. The hook lodges easily behind a pile of stones at the upper edge of the wall. If you tug, the rope suggests it will stay put. Climb to the top. With the help of the rope, you make your way up the face of the wall and over the side. Ha ha ha. Grab that. I get it. I'm full of camping supplies. I should not have spent that money. That's okay. Oh, Path of Exile posted something. Okay. Climb down. From the edge of the wall, you can see an old cobblestone road south through the patchy trees of Valewood. Your grappling hook and rope are still allowing relative easy descent. You swing yourself back down over the side, pick your way back down to ground level. Awesome. Okay. Alright, with that dealt with, let's go up to the bear cave. Padra, hush. Alright, I'm gonna quickly save my game. Alright, and then we go.
Silence surrounds me.
that worked pretty well, actually. Nice crawl through eye sockets and over femurs. What do you have? There we go.
A figure drifts suspended in the musty air of the cavern. Its form and features blur and twist in cascading ripples of incandescence. You feel its energy eddying about your limbs, filling them with a heavy chill. You reach out a hand for the spirit. In the moment of contact, you feel as if you have been struck a blow, head reeling as you tumble helplessly into waiting darkness. Light blooms at the edges of your vision. You feel the sun at your back and a weight of a bow in your hand. You know suddenly that you've come a long way from the vale, hunting deer. Now you are standing before a cavern, and the darkness extends far into its depths. Even so, your friend strides out before you, his red cloak flapping at his heels. You follow, heart hammering in your chest as he leads you deeper into the cavern. There is a roar like thunder echoing around you. Fear seizes you, casts you, stumbling back towards the exit, towards light and escape. You see a glint of steel, and there is a sudden terrible flash of agony behind your knee. You scream, stumble, fall. Your thoughts are chaos, lance through pain. But the moment of terrible clarity, you see your friend look back from the mouth of the cavern, his dagger daubed in crimson to match his cloak. And then there is great dark shape above you, and then there is more pain. The vision recedes, and you are thrown back into yourself with seemingly resentful force. The corpse lies at your feet, the specter lingers. In the span of energy between you both, you feel a sense of questioning, of confusion, of anger. You met him on the road, your friend. A sudden lashing anger emanates from the spirit. Rage and grief seem to pour from gleaming figure like smoke. I'll find him and see that it answers. For a moment the spirit seems to burn bright, and your head fills with sickly triumph. The spirit seems to weaken with the force of its own exultation, growing fainter and fainter, until you are alone once more. Damn.
Nice and quiet.
Dude. Alright, let's make our way out of here. My dog, I swear. Alright, traveling. Puppy. Let's see, map, and it was this house. And then, oh yeah, I have to talk with the guy up at the mill.
Hail and well met.
I know what really happened to the cave and that bear, Naunton. I don't know what you mean. I told you the truth of it. The color drains from Naunton's face. Ingrid, are you accusing him of something? Ingrid looks to Naunton, touching his arm. This is about the accident. We're both grieving Pearlie's loss, but it was a wild animal's doing. Why did you do it? Naunton shakes his head immediately. You see a tremble in his hands. What would make you suggest such a thing? Who's your friend? Naunton hesitates, and then his expression darkens. My friend? He was cruel enough man to his friends. You didn't know him. You wouldn't defend him if you did. His hand falls back to his sword belt. Naunton, wait. Ingrid raised a hand. I don't know what you saw in that cave, but that isn't what you think. Pearlie, my husband, he was as much a beast as that bear. I tried to leave the first time I suffered his temper, but he wouldn't have it. She looks away, expression pained. Naunton, we met, and I knew I'd found someone special, someone kind, who cared for me. Please, all we want is to leave this place, to start somewhere else. She looks down at the satchels. We have some coin saved up. You can have it, if you'll only let us go. do that. Ingrid blinks surprised, then, thank you, truly. I'm glad you understand. Only, here, take this, at least. I hope it brings you luck. She looks to Naughton, smiling. We have a long journey ahead of us. So I got minor ring of deflection. I wish you well on your travelers, stranger. We won't forget this. Yay! Dealt with.
Laying low.
I already stole that. Okay. Inventory. Minor ring of deflection. Boop. Sweet. Okay. So out of here. Da 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 da. That's dealt with. So back up here. Deal with this.
Greetings.
Trumbull nods a quick greeting. You're back. Have you had any luck with Swainer? Trumbull takes a deep breath. And what did he say? I convinced him to leave your family in peace. Why, that's great news. I wasn't sure you'd get through to him. They're out of their minds with drink half the time. I got him drunk. I owe you a debt. Here, he pulls a coin purse from his hip, pushes it towards you. Today's earnings, to show my appreciation. And you can be sure I'll let everyone know what you've done for me. Glad to help. Now we stand a chance of getting through the year. Trumbull smiles broadly. All thanks to you. Safe travels, friend. Roof done. Do you have any? Nope. Okay, yeah. Nothing there. Okay. So we're gonna leave. That's done. Sweet. Oh yeah, the thing. What's the thing called? Fudge. Let's see. I did the side quest. I could do against grain. I did vengeance from the grade. Shifts. Okay. Okay. So yeah, we need to go down to here, the temple. That's what I'm looking for next. And then I'll be done with Gilded Vale for the time being. You see a pennant waving tall, sluggish in the wind, rising on a embroidered banner. The vanguard is a small troop of paladins. The atmosphere is buoyant, if restrained. The armor has not yet been tarnished by the elements. This expedition is fresh, young, filled with zest and zeal. At the head of there stands their commander, awkward in full armor, but determined in step. Despite the excitement of his fellows, does he not smile? There is a twist to his mouth, his countenance grim. He throws up a hand, halting his troop. Silence falls among them, revealing the dark thunder, deep and low. He orders them to ready their weapons, spread out. I start from the horizon to horizon, necks twisting to see the source of the sound. In the distance, dust and lightning rise from the ground as the Stygian clouds race towards them, overhead. The soldiers stand only the staccato movement of their breath betraying their nerves. The commander closes his eyes, calling a blessing down upon his troop, invigorated, invincible. They wait as the enemy draws closer, poised to attack. Is there someone to talk to about temple? I thought there was a person. Or is it only... Maybe it's only during the day that they're out here? Might be. Okay. So I'll...
Jaspers and shadows.
It's not. Alright, so I'm gonna go to the inn, take a rest, come back during the day. nothing new on that. I'm wondering if I should link my Facebook to Streamlabs. Maybe.
Greetings.
Let's see. +2 resolve. Or +1%. I will do this one first. Here we go. My dog, I swear. I love her, but jeez. Yep, there's the child. That's who I was looking for. Papa says we're not supposed to go. Okay. Rising sun and 3 dawn stars, a symbol of
I
Eothas.
haven't been in here for, must be 5, 6 years. Used to be real nice. Bright. Warm.
Vertan. A man lies against the wall, lit by the dim illumination of the fading sconces. He has a gaunt, fox-like aspect, and his face is pale and damp with sweat. One arm is held loosely against his side, sleeve soaked with blood. He gives you an anxious glance as you near, his features twisted with pain.
Hail and well met.
Huh. Thought you were some... Never mind. Whoever you are, you've traveled a long way to reach a dark place. The temple isn't what it used to be, probably for the best. Times being as they are. He groans in his disposition, wincing. I'm no looter, if that's what you're thinking. Not one of the faithful, either. I just wanted to do some good, I suppose. Got my arm clawed up for it. He regards you wearily. Maybe you'd have better luck. Better luck with what? Man points a finger upwards. These ruins around us used to be a temple of Eothas, the scattered god. A grand temple at that. His worshippers would come from all over the Dyrwood, from Redsurus even. Not so much Redsurus these days. Until the war, of course. Even then, you'd get some stubborn ones. The ones that couldn't get it through their heads that their god was dead and gone. Go on. Once the legacy started, Lord Redrick decided he'd be too lenient on the Athosians. He had his people go in and put them to the sword. Left them down there, buried under a heap of rock. After that, Redrick ordered the temple sealed. It's been years like that, up until recently. Lord Redrick hopes that if we dedicate the temple to a living god, then we'll be forgiven, and the legacy will end, see? He smiles wryly. But until then, the temple is as you see it. Unguarded. Okay. I'll be right back. It's food. Pasta. But until then, the temple is as you see it. Unguarded. That's where you come in. Vertan licks his lips. These priests, maybe they didn't have a lick of sense between them, but they still didn't deserve to go like that. Chopped down in their god's house. Doesn't sit right with me. If you can get down there, find their remains, maybe we can finally give them a proper burial. Vertan breathes out. No small task, but there's coin in it for you, if you need motivating. A lost, curious expression softens. A pleasant surprise to see that someone around here has a shred of respect for the dead. I take it you aren't supposed to be here. Vertan laughs bleakly. Well, I'm meant to be in and out, nice and quick. I'm not hurting anyone, it's just Lord Redrick's forbidden anyone having anything to do with the scattered god. It'd be a little harder to explain to him than you. It's a good cause, though, isn't it? You can make some coin in the process. Alright, I've got some questions first. Yes? Why can't you do this yourself? Well, I tried. Only got a short ways before I got in over my head. Vertan grimaces. I haven't raised a blade in a long time. Turns out it isn't something you can just pick up again. But you look like you can handle yourself. Who are you anyway? Verton offers you a weak grin. Name's Verton. I lived in Gildevale long enough to remember how grand it used to be. He shrugs and looks away. I used to help the temple sometimes, bring supplies, that's all. Won't Lord Redrick mind us sticking down here? I wouldn't go telling him about it. Lingering in these places, it's no good for anyone. But you do this quick and quiet, and we can go right by those priests without raising a fuss. Any chances some down here with a little more than those old bones? Verton looks around. Probably. Nobody's been through the place since it's sealed up. Well, apart from me, and I didn't touch anything. Any valuables in there, you get first crack at them. I only ask that you do this favor for me while you're at it. Alright, no more questions. I'll find them. Then, by the flame, I owe you a good turn. But listen, the temple's been sealed off for so long it's crawling with creatures. You get past them, the priests would have been down in the lower floor. They'll be there still, if they're anywhere. Those priests had all kinds of secret chambers, switches in the walls, trick sconces, that kind of thing. Keep an eye out, and take care, down there. I wouldn't want to have to send someone else after your remains. I'll wait here by the stairs and keep a lookout. Maybe try to patch myself up some. Okay. Looking through so much stuff, I cannot tell what I'm doing these days. It is Mother's Plea. That's fine. Double that. Double that. Double that. Buried secrets that I'm working on now. Trying to remember. Yes. See, active. Okay. Second, I'm trying to find things that at least have some help, but whatever.
Laying low.
So you stealth most of this as a kind of way of at least making sure you catch hidden shit, which is hard because it makes it so much slower. But well.
These ones are in for a walloping!
Why is slow mode activated?
How may I help?
Okay. Cool.
Nice and quiet.
Why am I suddenly not highlighted? That would explain why things weren't working. Okay. Let's see. Let's go over in this direction first. Let's see what's over here. Spiders. Of course.
Keeping an eye out.
Oh, that's camp. Okay, I don't need a camp. Puppy. You'll be let in soon, Padra. Flow mode continuously activating. Red bound smears. Okay,
Sharp eyes
so
and
blood.
keen ears.
Oh. Nearby crystals light the cracked mosaic floor. Shades of orange at certain ankles. Metallic symbols beneath your feet gleams gold. As you look up, the air shimmers as if with summer heat. The very dust and air seem to pull together until a thin glowing mist appears before you. In its rippling gleam, sometimes you think you can see the shape of a man, features rendered in broad strokes of air and smoke. Your voice sparks movement. The spirit surges sudden, blazing light, and in the next moment you are somewhere else, your mind assailed with a wave of fear and noise. You are in the chamber hall. Priests and faithful have gathered in the crowd, splitting into the hall. Bodies press against you, surging forward to listen. Your own grief is mirrored in the faces around you. Some of the initiates are weeping. Someone has snuffed the candles, and the room is dark, save for the podium, lit from behind. 2 people stand before it, lit in silhouette. A man, shouting, voice ragged, so ragged with fear you cannot understand what he says, but the rectrix stands calm, unmoved. Her strength will see you through all these dark times. You feel hope, a spark behind your ribs. Somewhere behind you, someone begins to sing. The spirit tears itself away from you with sudden dizzying force, and you find yourself back before the ruined altar, swaying. The spirit fades as suddenly as it appeared. Face of the statue, long struck off with portions of its
Now
hands.
here's something.
Okay.
Sharp eyes and keen ears.
Okay.
Laying low.
Oh?
Prayer scrolls are coated in thick dust and a thick layer of grime. His Grace, I write to implore. The rest of this letter is crossed out several places and abandoned altogether.
I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
Nope. Okay, this way. Okay.
Laying low.
Vermin have scattered across. Okay. Just make sure there's nothing over here. Nope. Okay. Corpse stones, pockets of burrows, claw marks. Alright, fine, we'll trigger the trap. Jeez. This is where if I was a rogue it'd be much easier.
A haze fills the air, coalescing steadily into a blur of dust and mist. It gathers into appears to be a dwarf, a shimmering echo that fades in and out of sight. But stronger than the sight is the sense within you of a powerful energy. It roils and seethes with the grief that seems to spill from your own thoughts, tainting them until the sorrow is your own. Like a crashing wave, the energy surges toward you and into you, and suddenly you are elsewhere. Before you is a brightly lit stone corridor, lined with torches and gleaming crystals. You're running, or footsteps echoing off the stone around you. You forgot to tie your sandals and they're slipping from your feet, fouling your steps. You're late, again. The rite's going to begin without you. You hear the tolling of a bell. Your spirits lift as you recognize the familiar warped tone of the right hand, representing the first of the dawn stars to appear in the night sky, and last to fade in the dawn light. You pray fiercely that this is the first of the chimes and not the last. The light fades, as does the memory, and when your eyes clear, the spirit is gone. So first bell. Powerful odor of spices. So it sounds like first bell, what the spirit is suggesting is first bell is
I'll see what I can find.
the start of a rite and then the end of the rite. So it's a question. Making sure no secrets. Okay, no secrets. This way. Whoa. I heard voices. J. Buried secrets, where is it? There it is. Okay. First and last of these tolls is apparently that of the right hand, which has a distinctive warped tone to it. That's what that says. Okay. Inventory. I think I have a book. I should have picked up a book that discusses more about this. Tattered journal, scrawled letter. I do not think you'll ever see this, but you were right, Fulvano. We should have journeyed south together, safer for it. If I might live to hear it. I shall be a trapper of wolves. Oh. Visitors to the ritual floor, says redemption for those forgot and struck the largest spell first rather than second. So the largest spell is second. Okay. This is about the monsters in the Deadfire Archipelago. Spot Dinner Row, Adair Customs, Great Western Stag, and Book of Verses. I'll read those later. Okay, so. 3 bells hang from the protrusion that runs along this wall. Years of dust and grime coat the metal. There is a large bell at the center, flanked by 2 smaller ones. Examine the bells. The bells appear to be fully intact. They are made of thick iron and look very heavy. There doesn't appear much ordinary about them. Ring to the left. Bell tolls high, piercing note of startling power. The tone echoes merrily through the halls until it seems a dozen chirping notes ring through the temple. The bell sounds strange, warbling peal that grows painful to shrillness before it diminishes to a mournful chime. You reach out to hold the clapper around you, and the echoes diminish. Okay. Okay. The bell tolls high. Okay. Oh. You heave the bell and it swings back in the other direction. Clapper strikes a low, powerful note against heavy iron. Right, smaller bell. Warbling peal. Much smaller bell. Meeting the sound of the bells, internal drip of the damp snow-like, and sudden dissonant sound tolls from the bells so loud and piercing you are compelled to cover your ears. Then at last, silence once more. 5. Nope. 5. Did not open the door? No. So, it's the right bell first. Warbling. Clapper strikes low, powerful note against the heavy iron. You feel the ringing in your chest. The sound moves through the halls. Okay,
rang the middle bell. Silence the bell. Okay, so it's the smaller bell. The bell sounds strange, a warbling peal that grows so painful to a shrillness before it diminishes to a mournful chime. And then it's 2. You heave the bell as it swings back in the other direction. Clapper strikes low, powerful note against the heavy iron. You feel the ringing in your chest as the sound moves through ruined halls into a rolling tide. Left. The bell tolls high-pitched, piercing note of startling power. The tone echoes merrily through the halls until it is a dozen chirping notes ring through the temple, and then the right smaller bell. Peculiar chime rings through the ruins. There's a quiet melodic chime for all 3 bells before the discordant voices meet in a powerful, rising rush of sound. It seems to fill the whole temple, driving a flood of song that drowns all other thought. The tolling fades. You hear a creak from the direction of the doors as the passage to the lower level swings open. Okay. And
I'll see what I can find.
that I've opened the passage into our depths. And down we go. Okay. We are in the depths of the temple.
You know, it's strange looking back. All the time I spent here growing up. Never seeing what was coming.
How could you have seen what was coming? Okay, there's a shadow. Alright, I'm not using any of my spells because I'm being an idiot, basically.
Laying low.
Map. Alright, so let's go this. Yeah, let's go this way for a moment.
You might find this interesting.
I shall make it so. It's done.
Okay, there's a shadow that way. So we're gonna go this way for a moment. Alright. You... No, I don't want to edit your grimoire. Jesus. I want to cast... that. You... Okay. Alright.
Worth and rock.
Not quite.
Oh, that's Crucible of the Soul, right. Duh.
It's done.
How may I help?
Let's see, Spirit Shield. Anglerfoot. Minor Endurance. And that one. Someone must be in combat to use that. Okay.
Yes.
Alright, fine.
These wounds run deep.
Yeah. Figured as much. Okay.
I shall.
Oh?
I shall be discreet.
Oh? Oh?
Lavaru, be on seek!
There we go. Alright, that worked in my favor.
I shall be discreet.
Yes.
I shall be discreet. Curses!
Oh, well, that worked in my favor too. Okay. Cool.
Oh?
Jeez, Fred. Phone, thank you for that.
Certainly. Yes. Certainly.
Hey,
Oh?
Okay.
Keeping an eye out.
Da, 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 da.
Lavaru, be on seek!
There we go. That looked pretty cool. Sweet.
shall be discreet.
That's what I thought. It's not within our natures to forgive those who seek redemption, seek a long winding path, a road which takes us down the very hollows. Okay. Okay. We're... Oh, wow. I'm about to get my ass handed to me. Fair enough. Actually, no. You know what? You're gonna ray of fire this one because... Yeah. I'm gonna do that. Okay. Shoot.
Hi? How may I help? Damn it!
Fudge. Okay.
We gotta take better care of it.
There we go. That's what I was trying to do. Oof.
Yes.
Alright, so that affected something else somewhere. There's no riddles here. Okay.
Nice and quiet.
I think I should probably update my formation. I will do that at some point.
I shall be discreet.
I just want to check to make sure there's nothing else going on. Okay, nope.
To whispers and shadows. Let us end this!
We gotta take better care of Aloth.
Yeah, well, if these things would stop targeting him, it would be less of a problem, now wouldn't it? Jeez. This particular shadow's kicking my butt. There we go.
Oh?
I shall be discreet.
Alright. We're gonna rest real quick, because Alos's health is shite. Padra. Okay. Just to make sure. Yep, this is the bed I'm supposed to go. Okay.
Hey.
There we go. That worked much better that time.
I shall be discreet.
Hey.
Finish them! Finish them!
There we go. Wish my dog would stop. Padre, you will come in a bit. And Aloth is down again. Such a duck. Sir, you need to quit fainting. Thank you.
Keeping an eye out.
Okay.
Remind me never to help.
Kill my god again. Yeah. There we go. Light rises from the bones as you approach. You have a moment to register the faintest image of a standing figure. Features blur into mist and smoke before the world tilts. It is as if you have stepped sideways into it and into a new life. You're racing towards the flight of stairs, following a weaving circle of torchlight. Your own panting breaths are loud in your ears. Panic and your robes alike foul your steps, and you nearly stumble before a hand reaches out to grip your arm and steady you. A fellow acolyte, who smiles encouragement as you reach the bottom. You run around past the shallow reflection pool that marks the lowest point of the temple, following the dark shapes of the older priests as they lead the way towards the narrow hall that leads to the vault. You pass one of the torchbearers as you go. The harsh illuminations of flame reveals a familiar face. For a moment, your awareness spans time and identity, and you think Vertan has joined you here at the bottom of the temple. In the memory, he glances at you for a moment, and then looks past at someone else. I'll come back once they're gone, he says. You're being pressed along by a crowd, and his words are growing faint. Just keep quiet. We can't take any chances. Inside the vault, golden relics gleam like welcoming stars. The memory twists, drawing you loose from one moment and plunging you into another like a flung doll. There's only darkness around you now. You think yourself blinded until the knowledge settles into you like a cloak. The candles have all burnt away. You know now, too, with a sick certainty, that nobody is coming. There's a crackling noise. Somewhere to your left, a wet, slurping gurgle, and a ragged sob. You cannot see, so you cannot know which brother or sister has fallen, and which digs after what water a body may provide. You hear in the faint murmuring to your right, the familiar cadence of prayer, but you no longer recognize the words. You are too tired to do harm. The thirst is like fire within you. Your tongue is thick in your throat, and every breath is a struggle that leaches strength from you. There is a light, they said, at the end of every bout of darkness, but this one does not end. The spirit releases you, and you come back to yourself in pieces. Your vision clears, and the vault around you is revealed once more, cast in muted hues by the sickly illumination of the soul, drifting like fading fog. Fear wafts off the spirit in waves, fraying your own emotions. What is there to be afraid of? You're already dead. The spirit seems to withdraw into itself. You sense less of its fear and confusion as it recedes, but the soul lingers still. No matter how many times I see you staring off at nothing, it doesn't get less weird. Gather the remains. You spend a few moments gathering up what you can of the bones of the priests, and proves a heavy, gruesome burden, but you manage to recover them all.
Nice and quiet.
So I found Adra.
It's done.
Nothing else? Okay, nothing else.
Keeping an eye out.
Oh, shoot. Here. I want you to that. You need to cast that with.
These wounds run deep.
There we go.
Oh? Silence surrounds me.
Okay, go up the stairs. And I'm actually going to end this once I finish this particular plotline. As you step over the circle of candles, you hear a rattling clunk from the wall nearby. The door slides open with a grinding rasp of stone.
Silence surrounds me.
The candle flickers gently as you approach. There's a gap above the altar lined with broken glass where a mirror once may have set into the
Candles
wall.
are still burning.
Not bad for a dead
Not
god.
bad for a dead god.
That's
Redemption.
There you go.
And they got this whole right for when you come of age. They take you by the hand and you descend through the temple with your eyes covered, and that's supposed to be like a wicked life. They don't tell you where you're going. I was sweating like crazy when I did mine. They take you to that reflecting pool back there, and you're allowed to look at it so you can face your sins. Then, you come out into this room and you uncover your eyes again, and everyone's there to greet you, all your friends and family. It's like you've been redeemed. You light your candle, and it burns with the others. Never had a feeling better than that my whole life. The candles are still burning. Not bad for a dead god.
I'm not gonna snuff them, because that's not... It's disrespectful. Like, why would you do that? No.
There's nice to see those candles still burning. I figured they'd have gone out by now.
Okay, so I'm done with this quest line. Back here. This direction. Ah, there he is.
Hello!
Verdun smiles nervously as you approach. I think you sorted the worst of it. Arms hurting a little as he hesitates. You were down there a while. Did you find anything? You lied to me. What? Orton grins uncertainly. I was clear about everything. The risk involved. Is that what you mean? I did say there'd be spiders, and I'll pay you, of course, for the trouble. You're very nervous for an honest man. Orton opens his mouth to protest, but something in your expression stops him. He swallows nervously, looks away. His voice, when he speaks, is small. How could you betray them? They trusted you. Orton makes a strange, wounded noise. Betrayed? I was never one of them. Mad followers of the Shattered God. If I could have chased them all out of town, if you don't understand, I tried to help them. I did. Every day, every single day, I went to the temple and I warned them. I told them they were playing with fire, and Redrick wouldn't be patient forever. And every time they'd shrug it off, like I didn't know what I was talking about. Like it wasn't costing me coming in to try and help them. I could have been arrested right alongside them. So you killed them because they wouldn't listen? No, of course not. I don't know, Orton whispers very quietly. I think on it all the time, wondering. I told the commander the priest had left town, and he ordered the temple sealed. I remember that moment. It was like a dream. Like I went away for a time. I watched them start bringing the place down, burning the tapestries, the books. It was like between one blink and the next, it was over. Too late to say anything. Edgar's eyes are wide while disbelieving. Too late to say anything? You had days to tell someone. I'd have dug them out with my own hands if I'd known. They were some of the last decent folk left in this hole. Now all we got left is people like you. You could have spoken up, told Redrick the truth. Orton nods slowly. I could have. It would have ruined me, maybe killed me, but I could have saved them. He looks up at you, eyes wet. I didn't. I told you the way of it, Orton says, voice rough. I told you what happened. Guess it's your turn now to make a decision. It's not too late to make amends. Orton lets out a breath he was holding. I'm not sure that's true. It's been years now. What am I supposed to do? Bury their bones. Try to live a better life. He runs a hand through his hair, letting that. I can do that. I'll try to lay them to the rest. Try and do right by them somehow. Thank you, truly, for what you've done. Giving me a second chance. I'll put it to good use. Ugh, okay. And that is where I'm going to end that. With this, you cause problems for everyone. Alright. Well,